Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Paul Morphy series on my channel. In today's episode we're going to check out a game between Paul Morphy and George Hammond from the year of, let me just check it quickly, from the year of 1857. The game was also played in America, in New York. It was a casual game between those two. And I was not too sure who George Hammond was. And I found this chart here on the internet. So George seemed to have been a really strong player, over 2,350 player. So yeah, really strong player. As you can see, he unfortunately died 1881 and was born 1820. So yeah, he played this nice game against Paul Morphy, and yeah, I'm just thrilled to show it to you because I was really yeah, excited when I first saw this game. So Morphy has the white pieces, and he opens up with the move e4. We have e5, knight f3, knight c6, and now bishop c4. So going for the Italian game, we have bishop c5, and now Morphy, of course, goes for the Evans Gambit with pawn to b4. We have bishop takes b4 and now c3. This is the idea of the Evans Gambit, attacking the bishop. Bishop to a5 is the main move, and now Morphy goes for this accelerated push in the center with the move d4. The main idea of the Evans Gambit is that you get this nice pawn to c3, yeah, supporting the push here. In this position, he went for the move e takes d4, just grabbing the pawn in the center, and now Morphy went for castles, just getting in some rapid development, and here his opponent goes for the move bishop to b6, protecting the pawn and just yeah, preemptively basically removing this bishop from this diagonal. I'm not sure why he did this, but of course it's a move. Here Morphy just went for c takes d4, just grabbing the pawn in the center. So right now George is up one pawn, but Morphy has this beautiful pawn center here, controlling a lot of squares in the center, and we know who has the center in chess. Yeah, can claim basically in every position a nice advantage if material is roughly equal. And here after c takes d4, George went for the move knight g to e7, preparing short castles on the next move. Morphy went for the move knight to g5, putting pressure on f7, so this would be really bad if you would allow this capture. You can castle here, by the way. You can play short castles, but then Morphy gets a nice initiative with queen to h5, attacking the pawn. You have to play h6 to prevent mate. And here you can already sacrifice with knight takes f7. It's not really a sacrifice, because if you take back, then of course you can either take with the queen or with the bishop, and white should be a bit better here. The king is a bit misplaced here on the square, a bit weak. These pawns do not make the best job of covering up the monarch, and white is up also material, so this position would not be favorable for black. So instead of going for the move short castles, George went for the better option here with the move d5. And this is, yeah, really a central idea in these positions, to counter strike in the center with a pawn push, because you have to open up your pieces, so this bishop gets alive. This queen has now a better scope, and it's just a better way to cover up the diagonal from the bishop and to counter strike in the center with the pawn. Morphy took back on d5, and we have the move knight to a5, attacking the bishop. But Morphy, of course, being Morphy, doesn't move the bishop. He doesn't do something like this. He just played the move pawn forwards to d6, attacking knight and pawn, so just leaving the bishop to die. And of course, George took the bishop. But this piece sacrifice was of course only temporary, because Morphy immediately gets his piece back. You can pause the video, try to find the move. It's really a simple tactic, but for those of you who are maybe just beginners or maybe casual players, it's just a nice tactic to find. So let's just try to find this move. So yeah, of course, the move is queen to a4 with check, attacking the king and the knight. So it's a double attack, and you have to block the check, or you can move your king. And the game c6 was played, just yeah, getting the pawn in front of the diagonal basically, and Morphy went for queen takes c4, so gaining his piece back and having some nice pressure here on this poor f7 pawn. In this position, there's really one good move that you can play with black, and it is the move knight to d5, just again blocking this diagonal. And for example, if you with white play the move rook to e1, you're happy, you can give a check, you can develop the rook with tempo. We get bishop to e6, and this position is okay for black. It's a bit uncomfortable because you're going to lose a pawn for this whole maneuver, but you're relatively fine. The king will find maybe shelter on the queen's side, and in this position is not really favorable for black, but it's at least playable. Instead, we got the move queen takes d6, being a bit greedy and grabbing this pawn here. And you can see by the question mark that this is already a mistake from black, because now Morphy just went for the move queen takes f7 with check, attacking the king. So the king has two moves, king to d8, king to d7. In the game we got the move king to d8, it doesn't really matter. Both moves are equally good. And here Morphy went for the move bishop to a3, attacking the queen. You of course cannot take the bishop because it's defended by its horse on the queen side. So we have the move queen to f6, offering up a queen trade. And now again a question for you guys: would you capture the queen? Would you go for the queen trade, or would you rather continue with the attack with the queen? I will give you again a couple of seconds. So yeah, in this position, it's quite interesting to see that you're actually going for the queen trade. Usually when you attack and the king is still in the center, you would like to keep queens on the board to accelerate the attack, to have another strong piece, or even the strongest piece in a chess game on the board, to make sure that the king is as uncomfortable as possible. But in this position, there's a concrete variation why the capture is good. So let's just see it. Morphy played the move queen takes f6, just taking the queen, and of course you have to take it back. Pawn takes f6. And now really the star move of the position, knight to f7 check, was found in the game. So it's again a knight fork between king and rook, and this is why this exchange was so great, because you're going to win material in the end. So we got the move king to c7, just getting out of the check, and Morphy just took the rook in the corner. And now you can already see that Morphy is up 5 points of material. So the pawns are basically equal. We have these 5 pawns for black. We have these 5 pawns for white. Both parties have a rook. Morphy has 2 light pieces, 3 light pieces even, and his opponent also has 3 light pieces. But at the end we can see that white is up this extra rook here in the corner on f1. It's not on the corner, this one is on the corner, but this rook here on f1. And this is why, yeah, basically this position is already really, really bad for black. He decided to go for bishop takes d4. This of course makes a lot of sense, because now black at least gets the rook here, and Morphy went for the move bishop takes e7, taking the knight. We have bishop takes a1, taking the rook in the corner. We have knight to d2, so the bishop is now hanging. So bishop back to e5. Morphy went for the move knight to f7, gaining some pressure on the bishop. And we have the move bishop to c6, attacking the knight. So Morphy just got an easy invitation to take it. We have knight takes e5, pawn takes e5, and now we have the move a3. The pawn was attacked previously, so now it's on the square here on a3, protected by its counterpart, the bishop. So this makes a lot of sense. George went for the move h5. We have rook e1, putting some pressure here on the center. George in this position went for the move rook to g8, just putting some pressure on this pawn here on g2. Maybe in the future going for the move bishop to d5 to put more pressure on this pawn here. Morphy just took on e5, attacking the bishop, so the bishop has to move. We have bishop to d5 as previously said. Now the pawn is really under some pressure. And Morphy just again puts a piece in front of the diagonal, so it cannot be taken at the moment. We have the move rook to e8, attacking the bishop, putting some pressure here. And Morphy went for the move knight to f6. A nice move, attacks the bishop and the rook. So the rook again has to move. We have rook to h8, and we have the move bishop to c5. We have rook to d8, just covering the rook, the bishop again. And in the future, if the bishop may move, then of course Morphy could have some back rank issues. So this is why Morphy just plays the easy h3. So now the king has some luft to go to the square here on h2. So let's say the bishop moves somewhere, rook to d1. You can just play king to h2 and you don't get back rank checkmated. After this, we have b6 attacking the bishop. We have rook e7, a nice Zwischenzug, just giving a check to the king. King can't really go to the center here, so he has to play king to b8. Now we have bishop to e3, just going out of the attack of the pawn previously. We have pawn to c5, just pushing. We have bishop f4 check, so king has to go into the corner. If you go to c7, there's just rook c7 check. Let's say you have to go with king b8, then rook to d7 is really uncomfortable because you are going to either lose the rook here and then the bishop, or this is basically it. You can also take this pawn here on a7. There's so many tactics now what is just better. So in this position you have to go to a8. This is what George also went for. Now we had the move knight to e8, just threatening knight to c7. We got bishop c6, knight to c7, king to b7, and now this nice star move, knight to e6 check. So the rook is open now. So really, rook to d7 is really the only good move. This is also what was played in the game. And now again a nice knight move, knight to d8 check, attacking both bishop and king. And you cannot take the knight because of course your rook is pinned. So this would be an illegal move. So king a6 was played. In this position, Morphy just took on c6, winning the bishop. If you now think that you can get the rook, then of course we just trade down. So in this position, we got the move rook d1 check. The rook finally arrives on the back rank, but again we have this nice square for the king, king to h2. b5 was played. In this position, Morphy went for the beautiful knight b4 check, and it looks great. This move is awesome. You just sacrificed knight, give check to the king, but after the move c takes b4, it was in this position after the move bishop to e3 that George Hammond resigned the game. There's nothing you can do really against this checkmate here on a7. The computer gives the move rook to d4, just going in front of this diagonal. So let's say you play bishop takes d4. Let's say you push h4. It's just rook a7 checkmate. The king has no squares to go to. The bishop controls the diagonal. The rook controls the file. So this would be a beautiful ending to this game, but George resigned after bishop to e3. And I thought it was really nice, especially, I mean, the game was won, but I just saw this move here, and it was really nice seeing that Morphy has this tactical awareness to go for this nice diagonal and to go for this nice attack on the king. Beautiful game, beautiful technique, and I love the Evans Gambit. It always creates nice attacking openings. And I hope you enjoyed this video of mine. If you're interested in seeing more of the Paul Morphy saga, you can just check out the video that's shown in the top right corner. And if not, I hope you enjoy your day nevertheless, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.